Antarctica, the coldest, most barren, uninhabitable place on the entire planet. Yet some brave souls test their luck and do wander into this wasteland. Technoblade, a very powerful and noble player, decided to do what many others have tried and failed. He journeyed to Antarctica, slingshotting from many countries in Africa to Australia and then finally to his destination, Antarctica. Techno hiked through Antarctica until he settled on top of a very conspicuous mountain. This is the beginning of the most powerful nation on the planet, the Antarctic Empire. The first territory claimed by the Antarcticans was the Antarctic Mountain, which included its own private dungeon. Around this time, Philza, the second member of the Antarctic Empire, joined the Empire and swiftly became Techno's right-hand man. Techno and Philza then killed a player by the name of J-Mac. He had been following Techno all the way from Africa. Techno felt threatened, and then the two of them battled, causing J-Mac to be quickly executed. After the two of them explored a bit, they invited VoiceOver Pete into the Empire, because the majority of the two players' chats were requesting it. After this, Techno discovered the End Portal, and Pete used all the Empire's diamonds to create some armor, which Techno was not too happy about. After some events I will explain in the next section, FitMC traveled to Antarctica, after hearing that Techno wished to know how much power was lost upon death. After Fit arrived in Antarctica, he spoke briefly to Technoblade, and agreed that after he was slain, the two would form the Florida-Antarctic Alliance, which would give the Empire a foothold in the Americas and access to resources and crops that were scarce in the Arctic. Techno and the gang then decided to explore. They traveled to Australia and set up a small, but not for long.
He's claiming so much.
I just claimed half the planet. I know. It's a gift. Techno will be so proud.
Colony on the northern part of Australia. This colony no longer exists, due to claims being reset on day 2, and the land loss during the SAINT-MALO trials, which I will discuss later in this video. Techno then flew his plane around all of the volcanoes on the map, finding one that was not claimed, in Iceland. This volcano was called Katla, and Techno claimed it, only for it to get unclaimed with the faction claim reset glitch. Though shortly after, Techno reclaimed Katla, but only for it to be again lost to the SAINT-MALO trial, and because of transatlantic. This was it for creating colonies, but Techno did have one more huge task before he returned back to his home in Antarctica. He had to bring home Alfred, the Irish chicken. Bringing home Alfred was no easy feat, thought Technoblade, but deep down inside he knew he could do it. Realizing there was no way to use the modern era propeller planes to carry home an animal, he resorted to using a small 2-person wooden boat, which he crafted with his bare hands. After bringing Alfred to his boat, Techno set sail and rode for many days, and after a while, he noticed that the climate started to get cooler. Techno had rowed from Ireland all the way to Antarctica in a small boat he had made with materials he scraped together. He then fought his way through the harsh Arctic climate and brought Alfred to the Antarctic Empire's main base, which he now resides in his own chicken coop. All the while this was going on, Pete had discovered the first octangula. I have a video on this subject already, and I will leave a card at the top of the video right about now, and in the description if you wish to understand more about the octangulas. But after this, Pete discovered the octangula, and he quickly defeated a polar bear, and then took the disc called Octangula. Connor then heard about this and started to travel by plane to the strange octangula. Pete's chat told him of Connor's approach, which caused him to flee back to the Empire's home base until further notice. Technoblade soon arrived home with Alfred, and the two went back to the strange symbol to collect the beacons and explore some more. After flying back home for a bit, Pete, Michael McChill, and Kara all died near a strange symbol in the ground. Techno, being the ruthless emperor he is, flew to the location and retrieved Kara's stuff, to which he only returned some of, though he later returned the rest. The Corvarian Antarctic Alliance began, under the terms that they would trade and protect each other from other factions. Planes were the main form of traveling to different continents, though they were hard to control, slow, and expensive. A cheaper alternative was discovered by Wilbur Soot, who created the first intercontinental railroad. This railroad went from Newfoundland to Brittany, connecting Europe and America. After a brief discussion with Wilbur, Techno and the Antarctic Empire were given permission to use the bridge at any time in exchange for the Empire's help in defending the nation of Newfoundland. The Empire accepted this offer, which started the Newfoundland-Antarctic Alliance. After this, the Empire realized that they needed something like this as well, and so Pete set off to connect the two continents together, Antarctica and Australia. Pete mined materials for many days in order to acquire enough materials. As of the making of this video, the bridge has been completed and Pete has successfully built one of the longest railroads in SMP Earth history. He will go down in the books, known as the Antarctican Locomotive Genius. This was a dark time for the Empire, as in a short amount of time, two separate people from two separate countries snuck into the base. The first to sneak in the base was Tommy Innit from Business Bay. He snuck in while Technoblade, the emperor of the nation, was not streaming, which was a huge mistake. Technoblade, realizing his empire had been broken into, caught Tommy attempting to steal items and with all of his pent-up wrath, slaughtered Tommy, retrieving the stolen items and weakening the relationship between the two countries. The second infiltration was done by a player named Reflex22, who was a member of the German Empire. Pete was online, but he was not able to stop Reflex from exploring their base. Reflex did not steal anything, unlike Tommy, but he did explore the entirety of the Antarctic Empire base, finding one of the biggest secrets of the Empire, the portal to the moon. Reflex was surprised with what he had saw, and that the rumors were true. He swiftly left the base after he discovered this. Pete was then alerted of the infiltration, who was very shocked to hear this. He then went around the base and patched many holes which he found, making the base nearly impenetrable. There was actually one more infiltration, and it was massive. 3 whole nations broke into the Antarctic Empire's base, opened their moon portal, and defeated the Ender Dragon, all the while the entirety of the Empire was asleep. The nations that broke in were the Corvarian Empire, which was an ally, keep in mind, the Kingdom of Jordan, and Arkansonia. This was a disaster for the Empire. They had claimed the portal, and assumed that no one would dare break in and use their portal. Well, they were wrong. Like I said, the dragon was defeated, and because of this, a portal then appeared on the northern Arctic region on the top of the map. The portal was swiftly deactivated though, once the infiltrators returned, but not before Philza took advantage of this and gathered many moon colony resources and items, such as elytras and shulker boxes. In my opinion, it was completely worth it. If you have played Minecraft with shulker boxes before, you know how useful they are. Did you think the Antarctic Empire would stutter because of all the break-ins? Well, if you did, you are wrong. They came back with a huge bang. On this day, Techno did some experiments with map claims, and claimed around a small land claim, which the Dynamap automatically filled in, making it look like he had claimed the entire area, when really, he had only claimed a square around it. Techno used this as evidence to complete the goal he set up from day one: world domination. Even Techno's right-hand man was afraid to do this, because he was afraid of all the backlash. Techno, though, was not. He convinced Phil to help him, and soon they started making a square around the world's borders, but then problems arose. Arliss Finch, a member of Transatlantic, who took over the Empire's claim on Iceland, heard of this plan and attempted to cut off the claim line. Techno, though, soon bribed him and hired him into the Antarctic Empire as a mercenary. Techno and Phil flew around claiming some more, and then they had done it. They had done what they always sought out to do. The Antarctic Empire had taken over the entire world. They basked in their glory, but soon after this, many nations were notified and all rioted for the Empire to be held on trial for war crimes. Techno, Philza, and VoiceOver Pete all arrived in France to take place in the SAINT-MALO trials. The three of them all stated that they had broken no rules. Therefore, having done no wrong, they should be released at once and no charges given. Arliss Finch, though, he was a mercenary and not part of the real Brotherhood. So, he betrayed the Empire and got all of his charges dropped. Wilbur Soot, the chief at the trial, decided that the three's claim was bullshit. He gave the options of Techno having to disband the Empire and be limited to an 8-chunk claim for a week, or Philza to leave and start his own nation, or VoiceOver Pete to do the same as Philza. Technoblade stated that he would not accept any of these terms, but Wilbur had the jury vote, and they voted for the Empire to be disbanded. Techno denied to do this as well, but Wilbur said, either you type the command or I will. Philza and Techno's chat though was filled with one thing: trial by combat. Phil handed Techno a god apple, and they were both prepared for combat, but alas, they did not attack. Techno denied a trial by combat because Wilbur's proposed terms. After some more conjecture, they soon came to the agreement that the Empire would return the 6 of the 7 continents back to the world, and that no one would ever do that again. This led to the forming of the UN and the worldwide laws, which were no aggressive map claiming and no making drawings or symbols with your claims on the map. This is the most recent event, but I can already tell that the Empire's not done yet, and they most definitely have more tricks up their sleeves. Hi, I'm MystS, and thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. A new video will be uploaded next week about the recent occurrences with the ARG. The first video I made for that can be found here. Thank you again for watching. Have a great day.